now tuning in, man. St. John's in the building. Durtty Boyz, we in here, man. Back to the business. Just everything you got going on, man. Your branding is amazing.
You like it?
Yeah. How big is your team? You would think like you have like an army behind you as far as just your branding, your video concepts. Like your fan base is crazy.
Yeah.
Like what's going on with the branding thing?
He said, yeah.
Yeah.
Branding is important. Branding is something I do hands-on myself.
Okay.
I'm super involved in things that are creative, design-oriented. Anything like that I'm into, right? I like colors and shapes and, signs and posters and post-its. I like all of that.
Right.
So my team, as far as it relates to that, design is about 4 of us.
Okay.
Right? So me and my partner in New York, partner in L.A., and a partner in Bucharest.
And the only reason I'm asking is
Whoa,
because
wait. You skipped over that real quick. You got a partner in
Bucharest.
Word.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never really heard somebody say somebody on their team.
that's why I kept moving. But you stopped it.
All right, dope.
So as far as branding, like, because I feel like I think that's missing in the game. Like a lot of young artists, I keep it funky with you coming out of Atlanta. It's like our kids just be going. You know what I'm saying? To get loaded, they just go get the money, go get the bag. But you don't really see a lot of the packaging and branding like you got, like as far as your cross that you implement on everything.
Right.
What's that stand for?
My name is St. John.
Okay.
Think
true.
about it, right?
Right.
Consistent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So,
I grew up super, super religious. I grew up in going to church a lot. I wasn't one of those choir kids though. Like I wasn't singing or nothing like that.
Right.
I wasn't. What's the other one standing next to the choir boy?
Altar boy.
I wasn't an altar boy. Thank you. See, I ain't even had a phrase.
Right.
I wasn't that neither. So
You was paying attention.
yeah. Right.
So as far as with branding, like why do you think branding is so important? Like for you?
I mean,
as
it's
an
awareness. For me, it's how you tell a story. It's how you present it. The difference between the person that you go home with and the person that you don't go home with is the packaging. You like how it was presented to you. You like when she walked up to you, when she whispered in her ear, the red heels. You like the lip gloss, right? You like the way the silk fell. First of all, I'm painting the whole picture about me. Right, relax, right?
I was about to say,
Talk
you was
about
there
my
with me on Friday? You figuring out my whole scenario.
But you like that. You like how organized it was. Like seduction is in the presentation.
Right.
And I like to practice the art of seduction even when it comes to branding. It has to be sexy.
See, I think that's overly dope because, like I said, you don't really see that too much more. And I feel like a lot of artists, period, and even labels aren't doing, you know what I'm saying, the type of branding and stuff that you're doing. So definitely salute you on that.
Thank you.
Your writing ability, Judena, Usher, songwriter, producer.
I'll let you tell it.
Tell me about it, man. Tell me. Now it's time for you to tell it now. Who else you been working with?
I mean, those are some of the artists that I've written for. There's some other things that are about to come out, right? I won't say anything about that. I'd rather let the art speak for itself. That's cool, right? So Usher, Judena, Kaiser, Nico and Vince, a couple of others. Those are some of the people that come to mind. Yeah, they're super talented from Ivory Coast by way of Norway.
Yeah.
They're super talented.
Really
They're
dope.
good guys too. So I mean, I spent a lot of time writing. That's how I got my start. For people that don't know, people that are just hearing my voice for the first time, I started writing records for people. Right. That's how I got my opportunity. First thing that came to me was someone saying I need something. Right, because I was trying to put out records myself, and that didn't have as much impact. I felt failure. I felt what that felt like. And then someone said, why don't you try writing this?
Right.
And I wrote it, and then 6 months later, an opportunity came, and I was prepared for it. It was the first opportunity. The first thing that you get that lets you know you're on the road, you're on the path. I got that, and it was writing.
But that's an interesting way to put it, like how you put your packaging and your delivery as being like the art of seduction. I never really heard it from that point of view, which is really interesting. So how do you like survive or do well in a climate that's like a microwave climate right now? Like kids are like just putting stuff out.
Music out,
week after week, mixtape after mixtape. Like how do you grab people's attention with, taking your time and, really executing delivery and all that good stuff?
It just has to be better. That's it.
Right.
If I'm competing in a space where people are doing more, whatever I do just has to be better, right?
So quality over
on a
quantity.
tier.
Right.
I absolutely believe in that. If you do something exceptionally well, you don't got to do it 96 times, right? You might have to display it 96 times, but you don't got to do it 96 times, right? If it's exceptional, right? We know when Jordan hit the shot,
right?
Everybody saw it. That's what I'm talking about because it was that impressive, the fadeaway. Yeah,
right.
It don't even matter which fadeaway I'm talking about. You know what I mean,
right?
That's what I mean. That's branding. When you present it at that level, or that if the quality is that high, then you don't have to oversaturate. But that's just a strategy. Everyone has their own strategy.
Right.
And I don't mean strategy in some sort of like business specific way. I just mean that's the way I approach the world. I don't want it to be quantity based. I don't wake up every day feeling like making a record. You get me?
Right.
So I want to make sure when I do, when it matters, it counts. It's important. It's expressive.
So will you work with artists that don't necessarily feel that way? You got like artists that, me personally, I look at them just like,
they don't care.
Right, like
they don't care.
They don't care, and then
they don't even put that much thought into it. You
right.
know what I mean?
And I think they're slick lame. You look at some artists, you're like, man, bro, like, but I feel like there's pressure on artists who do care about artistry to pair up with those type of artists.
I think, I'll comment on that. I think when you say artists who care about artistry, I think sometimes that goes way too deep. Those are the artists that are just art for art's sake. It's so dense. Like, you don't understand it, you don't like it.
Right.
Right? If I don't like it, I don't want to have to learn how to like your work. I don't care that much.
Right.
Right? I want to be able to appreciate it and go, that's actually dope. That's quality. Maybe I didn't get it at first. There's an opportunity for that. So the people who do art for art's sake, like I'm not in that box. Right? I'm not that guy. I'm making what I feel like making too.
Right.
It just happens to be better.
Right. So speaking of failure, like you said, you felt what failure felt like. Like what made you? What was the drive that kept you going? Like, cause sometimes people fail and they feel like, you know, they shoot down your dreams. Like a lot of people are not willing to switch it up and be like, you know, I want to be a rapper so bad, or I want to be that artist so bad that I'm not willing to sit back and take the seat of a songwriter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what pushed you through that?
Poverty's a strong influence. How much more you need?
Right.
Right. You don't come from anything. You want something. That TV is glowing every night, and everybody on the TV got something. Everyone on TV is rich, super powerful, and really happy. That's what it looks like.
Right.
Of course, that's not a fact. I'm just giving you the inspo, right?
Right.
So as you're watching from the seat of your couch with the holes in it, with the quarters that you just fished out of the cracks of the couch, you want anything you possibly can get your hands on. When I went outside and everybody was hustling, and that wasn't the path, that didn't make a lot of sense for me. So poverty was a strong indicator of, you know, what direction I should go in.
Right. Just not giving up, just staying consistent.
Fam, the only way to fail is to give up. The only way to fail is to give up.
Say that again, one more time.
Right? That's the absolutely only way to stop. I always had this thing reoccurring in the back of my head. I thought, yo, what if you give up the day before it happened? Could you imagine that? Imagine the date. You don't know. We can't see the future.
Right.
But imagine stopping short, one day short of when it was going to happen for you. When the opportunity for you to do what you said you on this planet to do came. I can't be that guy. I couldn't be that guy.
That's crazy.
So I kept going. And you asked me something about what it took to sit in the back seat. I saw an opportunity in songwriting.
Right.
Right. It was the first time in my entire life that anyone said, I need you, and you have a use. I was like, oh, you see a value. It was the first time someone saw a value in me that I didn't necessarily see in myself. Because it wasn't something I was chasing. I wasn't trying to be nobody. Look, you point out the person who wakes up like, I want to write songs in the background for somebody else.
Right.
No one really wants to do that. No one wants to see their words contorted to suit someone else.
Right.
Right. So that's not what I did. But an opportunity came, and I've been hungry long enough to know when an opportunity comes, and I go, all right, cool. I sit back. I sat back.
So how do you link up with Biggs?
You know what? It was supernatural. Like it just happened. We were at a fashion show, Pierre Moss. His collection is incredible, by the way. Shout out to him. And I saw Biggs, and I didn't know him. Like of course, I knew of all the things that he had done. Not as intimately as I know now, but you know, who doesn't know Rockefeller Records and
Especially
all the
from
work that
New
they've
York.
done.
Right.
Yeah, come on. Legacy. Grew up looking at that, watching that from a distance.
Right.
So I knew who he was, but he was the one in the background. So when I saw him, and I know Tata, and I know a couple other close friends from the team, and I was like, yo, we don't know each other, but my name is St. John. Really nice to meet you. And he had heard my music because Tata had put him onto it.
Right.
And I didn't know this at the time, but that was the only thing he was listening to. So he was like, St. John, we got to take a picture. And I was like, oh, so it felt
Right.
natural to me.
Yo, how does that feel though for like a New York legend to be like, want to take a picture with you?
I'm good enough, right?
That's crazy.
That's what it felt like.
Right.
Right? Like in my mind too, when I wake up every day, I tell myself, I analyze myself and I consider all the things, what the odds are and what the pros are, right? And I'm like, I'm good enough. I should be here.
Right.
Right? I'm at this radio station
Deserve
right
it.
now. I should be here.
Right.
So when he was like, yo, I like your music, I was like, that's really cool. But I should be here because I'm good enough.
I worked hard enough for you to like my music.
Yeah,
That's
so
the point of me putting it out.
So for me, it can't be that surprising.
Right.
I'm appreciative, but I can't be surprised that you tell me I'm good. Otherwise, why am I here if I don't already know that?
Right. I mean, it's slick from the outside looking in. It's slick looks like you brought him out of retirement because you know we don't know the inner workings of Biggs. Biggs was always like the
he was always quiet,
cool, calm, quiet guy. So you don't know as much what he thought about the whole scene and music and period. Although I've sworn he said that he didn't want to do anything with music.
No, he definitively said that.
Right. All right, so I'm not bugging.
No. He definitively, unquestionably said,
I don't want to do nothing.
like I'm out, but the only person that would bring me back in was me. And I didn't know him at the time. He said this on an interview. I had no idea. He said the interviewer was asking if you had a chance to, and before they finished, right, I'm paraphrasing, he said, St. John. That's the only guy I would come back for. And I didn't know him at the time. We hadn't met. I hadn't even seen the interview, none of it. I had seen none of it. So at the point where I introduced myself to him, I was genuine and pure. Yo, nice to meet you. I never met you, and I know you're friends.
Wow.
And then we built a genuine and honest relationship, and he would give me advice, just like from friendly advice. Yo, this is how I see what I think you should do. And I'm this guy, right? I'm the guy that if you're smart, and I can observe that you're intelligent enough that you can see the future and you got a vision for it, you got a path for it. I'm like, don't tell me to do it. You do it.
Right.
What you want? Well, you got ideas? Stand next to me. Let's stand next to each other. Let's build something together because I'm purely ideas. I'm an idea. I'm a concept. You get what I'm saying? I have to build myself.
Right.
I have to imagine myself being in this position to be in this position. So I have to construct myself. All right. So I'm an idea guy. And he had great ideas. And I was like, fam, let's just think together.
Before that, did anybody else kind of show interest and want to get involved?
I mean, yeah, I got a lot of other friends. I tried there's other people that tried to manage me, and it just didn't necessarily make sense. And it wasn't an ideal or a perfect fit, right?
Right.
Because, man, any type of business relationship is a marriage. You get married. I'm married to your ideas. I'm married to your principles. I'm married to your work ethic. So lots of marriages fail as a result of that. This is just a happy marriage.
I can honestly say that I haven't talked to so many artists that has this concept, even way of thinking.
Bro, he's from Brooklyn.
Yeah. Chill. He's still a person.
Facts, though.
I met a couple Brooklyn guys that don't have this concept as far as life and how you function. You know what I'm saying? What you think and how you move, because it's so many artists that don't have a clue. You just clarified the fact that they don't have a clue at all about life and what they're doing. It's almost like you fall into a situation, you just take advantage of it, but you're not even supporting enough to even keep it forever. You're just
Absolutely.
like, you know what I'm saying? Just like doing it for right now. And if it work, it work. If it don't, it don't. But your whole concept is like, you've seen this before. You're going to be here for a long time because you understand it and you want to be here for a long time.
Yeah, because for me, it's important to limit the obstacles. Fam, I'm black in America. I'm a Guyanese kid born in Brooklyn, grown up in New York, in America in 2019 when Trump is the president. If I'm not using my brain, I'm working backwards. I have to. Right? There's already the obstacles are laid in front of me. I know, listen, on day one, if I had a son right now or a daughter right now, I would know on day one, the first day they're out of the womb, I know what the obstacles are. So the job is to prepare them to either triumph over those obstacles or circumvent it, go around it. I saw them. Grew up super poor, single mom, working as a nurse's aide. I'm trying to make music. It makes no sense to her. She raising a bunch of kids. Pop's got a bunch of kids. So I could see the obstacles.
That's like the story for like every Caribbean mom in New York.
Everybody.
Like nurse's aide. That's like
everyone's
crazy.
You know?
But do you think even though like you come from, I mean, you did so many different variables, but it's so easy to still be put in a box. Like, do people expect once they hear you're from Brooklyn to sound like a New York artist? They hear you from Guyana to sound like a reggae artist, or the Tory Lanez, or to sound like Drake or Controller. Like, do people put you in those boxes just off the rip without even like hearing your stuff? Or,
well, listen, right? I'm a 6'3" black man with interesting hair that walks in a room in red leather pants. Right?
I don't know what you play the
They
guitar,
have no idea what's about to
boom,
happen.
bye, right?
Right? They have no clue. So I'm building it. I'm building the archetype for whatever I am. I don't know. I'm not saying this in any in any arrogant way, but I'm not sure if there was a popular version of whatever I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that ever got broadcasted. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know if there was what I represent, my ideology, what I am, my experiences. I don't know if there's been a version of that. And if there has, I haven't seen it. So I think people they're defining me as I go along. They're going, I don't know what this is. I like it though.
Right.
Right. And my job is to make sure that my box is as broad and as big to accommodate all of my ideas. So you can build a box for me, but as long as it's big enough to fit the things that I think, then I don't care how big it is.
Dope.
Yeah.
So question, are you, I know you were hired by Gucci at one point. Are you still working with Gucci or?
Oh, you say, you got to clarify that.
Well,
people are listening.
That's what I read.
Yeah,
I read
no.
that
You
I
mean
did
not
a-
the artist or the label?
the
You're
Gucci,
talking about
the
Gucci, the clothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I did a campaign for Gucci. Not now. I didn't do it in this
That's
present
why I had to
time.
ask,
That's
yeah.
why we got to clarify. I did it before. I did it in 2018.
Okay, so how do you feel about everything that's going on now with Gucci as far as like, you know what I mean? They just their decisions of different clothing lines and now
It's
everybody's
offensive.
flying,
Yeah, it's offensive.
period.
Yeah, it's offensive. Look, you have a responsibility as a brand to your consumers, to anybody who's paying attention. You got a responsibility to be respectful or stand on principle. Or if you really don't care, then really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Then stay there.
But
you
don't dangle in between.
You can't dangle in between. You can't do it when it's convenient, and when it's inconvenient, you change your mind. Right? That can't be the position. So listen, I was a supporter of Gucci, for sure. I thought they had great. They're having the greatest comeback for me that I've ever seen.
Right.
The close of.
Definitely.
Actually, I'm not doing all of that because I'm not with it right now. So whatever they did was insulting. It was irresponsible. But yeah, I did a Gucci campaign last year.
What do you think? Do you think big brands like that really understand or care to understand
I don't
who
think
we
they
are
care.
in our culture?
No, I don't think they care.
Mm.
I think it's hard to be in an ivory tower and understand what's happening in the horse carriage below you. It's just, it requires somebody who's invested enough in people and in culture. Like I'm rooted in culture. There's things, there's nuances that you get when you out on the street and you just realize there's a certain way you approach things. Now you can't run up on homie from the back and then tap him on the shoulder in the middle of the night.
Right.
Something might happen, right? That's a cultural thing, and you understand that. That's me giving an example of something that might be overlooked by someone from a different place, from a different mindset. They don't traverse the same things that we go through. They don't go through the same things.
Right.
Even if they're selling to us, they're not selling products to us based on what we've experienced in our upbringings and so forth. They're just selling products to us.
Right.
They're catching trends, and they're selling products. But if we're the audience and we're the consumer and we're spending the dollar, you got to be considerate. You got to be respectful. What part of your market share?
Right. So speaking of like people like being in the ivory tower and looking down and passing judgment or saying, making calls and basically you don't experience it. People like Trump that do that and really offend people like us of color and immigrants. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel when artists who kind of from what it sounds like kind of have the same standards as you, is like putting in work and taking pride in your work and putting out quality? You have artists like Kanye that support that. How do you feel as an artist and as like a black man?
When I see something like that, him standing behind, because Kanye is someone that I absolutely treasure musically.
Mm-hmm.
He's a musical hero because he's done so much. I couldn't, drop me off in 2001. It's strange. I'm strange. Whatever I'm doing doesn't make sense. It's too bizarre. It's too left. On the heels of Kanye opening so many doors, on the heels of Jay-Z opening so many doors musically and pushing boundaries, so forth, and business-wise, on the heels of Drake doing the same thing, I'm possible.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the other side of, I might not agree with the politics of the decision, but I haven't sat with Kanye. I don't know where his mind was at. I don't know what he was trying to articulate. I don't know. But I'm respectful enough of the music and what he's contributed to this culture that I'd want to hear.
What he has to say.
I would want to know. I want to know why.
But with some things, that I understand. It's a very reasonable answer. But some things are definitive, and you kind of don't have to sit down with him to know where he was coming from. Like when Trump says, Kanye likes me, he says, I don't like you. I love you.
I get why
Like, you know what I'm
listen,
saying? It's like, bro, you love a dude who hates us. Like, come on. I kind of don't have to sit down with you to understand where you're coming from.
Sure, if you're
Like,
being black and white.
right. You know
If life is just black and white like that, then I'll cast an indictment too. I'll say, I don't like this. Your politics, I don't mess with. You, I don't like. But you and I know better than that.
Right.
You know life ain't that black and white. You know it's circumstantial. You know one thing affects one thing and that affects 10 things.
Right.
Yeah? I'll give you an example. We've been friends for 10 years, right? And I've never taken anything from you. And one day you leave $200 on the counter and I walk in the house and the $200 is missing. And you ask me about it, I'm like, yeah, I took you $200. You know my character though. You give me another shot, no?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, as a friend, I would have probably been upset, but I would also have been like, yo, bro, next time just ask me.
Yeah.
But I know that
because you know
have
something had to be
done that.
wrong for you to take that.
That's on the
200.
heels of knowing my character.
Right.
So a guy that's giving you 10, 15 years worth of work, who's pushed boundaries culturally and creatively, to some degree we know his character, no?
Yeah.
To some degree. We don't know
that's
him,
that's
but
true.
to some degree. So when he does something that feels left of center, I have more questions.
Right. But that's why I don't believe in like cancel culture. It's okay for me to be like, that was whack what he did, but still love and appreciate. Like my brother does a whole lot of things I don't agree with, but I'm not gonna disown my brother. You know what I'm saying? My brother be in the street doing stuff. I'm not gonna be, but I still love him. It's okay for us to disagree, but me still like you as a person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think a lot of people confuse that. They think just because he did that, I'm supposed to hate him and just ban him and boycott him and X, Y, and Z.
We're a little bit extreme in culture these days. We're extremists in our beliefs. You don't do something I like, you're done. You're cut off.
Right.
You said something that's foul, that's what you believe. Those are your sincere principles. You're a racist. That's how we operate these days. It's not necessarily consistent and true. Right. So for me to ask someone who I think you asked me about someone who is a musical hero, and he did something I don't necessarily agree with. I don't agree with that, but I'm not casting a black net over him as a result of that. I want to know why. If you keep barreling down that road, if he's just living there, if those are his principles, that's firmly what he believes. In 10 years, that's it. I mean, I'd have a different response for you.
Even then, but as an artist, could you
like his music and separate his politics?
Right.
I don't know.
Because Dave Chappelle said something unrelated that was like really interesting. Like he was watching, I don't remember the dude's name. Dude's from Seinfeld. He was doing a set, and he was saying something really racist in his set, and he was bombing. So Dave Chappelle attacked it from a comic point of view. He was like, I know he's saying some racist shit, but really I was thinking, this nigga having a bad set. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, could you as an artist, could you separate the two to be like,
that was one incident.
Right, yeah.
What if he did that every night for 100 nights? I'm
true.
sure Dave would have taken a different approach. He would have then, pointed the finger at his politics,
right,
at his beliefs. I got to give it time. I'm not that hasty to throw somebody under the bus. I mean, unless I don't like him, but I like Kanye. So what we gonna do?
It's crazy.
Okay. Well, Collection is out right now.
Collection 1.
Collection 1 is out right now. What else you working on besides you got the record with Lil Baby out?
I got the new record with Lil Baby.
Trap.
Let's give this appropriate moment.
The new record with Lil Baby.
New record, Trap, featuring Lil Baby.
Okay, what made you get Lil Baby?
He's dope. It's not even an overcomplicated response.
Right.
He's dope. He's really good at what he does. I like what he represents. And then when we were looking, we were putting together the project, right? Ghetto Lenny's Love Song. I'm putting together that collection, thinking of who do I want to interact with. Sometimes I'm not the friendliest.
Right.
Not in person. Just sometimes I don't want to share my art. I don't want to feature with anyone.
Right.
Sometimes it's like that.
Right.
We were thinking about it, and we thought of Baby, right?
Right.
And then Chubbs made it happen. Shout out to Chubby Baby. That simple.
Right.
Chubbs got on the phone. He put it together. P and Coach. Shout out to P and Coach. And it was simple, seamless.
So this particular collection, what can we look forward to on this collection?
It's ignorant.
Wow.
It's seductive. It's ignorant. It's called Ghetto Lenny's Love Songs. Right?
Right.
If you looking at me and you understand, you heard my music.
Right.
What should that sound like? Right? If I'm
I'm a late bloomer as a
That's
fan
all
and
good.
listen to music.
That's
To
all
your
good.
music. But I haven't heard anything like this before. You know what I'm saying? I can't necessarily put it into even your visuals. It's like it's just you. It's like I think some of the things that people say you can't do, like you're doing it.
I'm doing
it's like
everything
You know why,
they say
though?
I can't do.
He's from Brooklyn, B.
people ain't
Hey.
saying that, man.
Hey.
Well, go ahead and introduce this song, say John.
What's up? My name is St. John, straight out of Brooklyn. you're going to hear my new record, Trap, featuring Lil Baby. Or if you don't hear my new record, just come look at my pictures. I like that too.
There it is, man. Durtty Boyz, Hollow 79, St. John, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it.
Hey.